Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is JT, the Fat Boy himself, back for another culinary adventure. This time we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a surf and turf quesadilla. All right? And these are the ingredients. It's so simple, you're gonna love it. Okay, I have some vegetables here. I have red onion, bell pepper, green, red, and yellow. I have one of the stars of this quesadilla. I have ribeye steak. Another thing that I have here, I have some spices, which is cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. I have cilantro. I have another star, which is a shrimp. And I have a little sofrito, my version of a sofrito, which is a Spanish condiment that's normally used. Well, it's actually more than a condiment. It's more of a marinating tool. Okay, you can use it in various ways, and I'm going to use it on my shrimp. All right. Now, what I use this pepper, and it's called guajillo pepper. All right. I used it to make my sofrito. Now, this guajillo pepper is not super spicy, but the flavor is kind of sweet, and it blends well with the different spices that we're going to use today, and you're going to love it. Now, they usually come in a big package, all dried like this. All right? Now, what you can do, you can use it just like this in your marinade, or what I do is I put them in some hot water for about 15 minutes, and it gets it to where they start to hydrate and they become a lot softer and easier to work with, to cut and or to put into marinades or your blender or your food processor. All right, so that's what I use to make this. Now, this marinade is really simple. It's this pepper, it's garlic, and red onion. That's it. Put it in my food processor with a little bit of oil and just let it rip until it all comes together. And the consistency is pretty much like a marinade, a wet marinade. And that's exactly what we want. All right? So, I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right? Now, I'm going to use a lot of vegetables because these vegetables really gonna make the quesadilla sing. All right, and I'm gonna do what they call a julienne. All right, now these are going right into my pan here. All right, I cut the bottom off my onion and I just start going off. Now, all right, the whole point is that I'm going to marinate these vegetables, and I'm going to marinate our steak, and I'm going to marinate our shrimp. I want flavor galore. I want it busting out the seams. I want it slamming. And when I do that, you have to marinate. All right? Now, it doesn't have to be a long marinade. It could be a 5-minute marinade. It doesn't matter. It could be a wet or dry marinade. But nevertheless, we have to marinate. All right. I usually cut out the little white pieces that is left inside from the pepper because they have a tendency to me be kind of bitter, and I don't like that. All right. All right. All right. That goes in. Now, I'm cutting them long because during the sauteing process, I want them to, inside my quesadilla, I want everything to be, I want all the colors to go all the way through the quesadilla. All right. Now, what I'm doing is just cutting around. I cut my, the sides flat on here so I can cut around it. All right. There we go. There we go. Awesome. And here. Now these two I'm going to leave because I'm going to use those close toward the end. All right. I want red and I want yellow in the end. I put all the green inside. All right. All right. And I'm going to keep the rest of that. Going in. All right. Now, a little bit of my sofrito is going to go on in. Now, a sofrito can be made a variety of different ways. You can make them with these same spices, but you can also use other spices and other dry spices. And you can use fresh herbs in them. And sometimes I do. But based on, sometimes I feel like dry spices, sometimes I feel like fresh spices. So depends on what I'm using it for. I let that dictate what I use, dry or fresh. All right. Now, I just want to lightly coat this. I'm going to put that right into the back. Okay. Now, with here, I'm doing a little spice rub for this piece of ribeye. Now, I told you before, I have cumin, I have onion powder, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. I'm just going to mix them all together, just like this. And this is going right on the steak. We don't have to put salt and pepper on yet because I want these flavors to go into this steak really, really fast. And there we go. Now you can add spicy components to this dish too. All right. All right. Now I'm gonna let this sit for about 30 minutes, room temperature, because I don't want my steak to be cold. And by the time I come back, it's going to absorb these spices, and we can start searing. Oh yeah, one other thing. Let's marinate our shrimp too. Now, for this shrimp, I'm going to use the sofrito because specifically I want this same flavor profile with the shrimp. Now there's oil in here, so I really don't have to use any extra oil. And I just mix it up. Now there is no salt and pepper in these. This is just for strictly marinated purposes only. I just want the flavors to get in there. Remember I told you, you don't season, you season with salt and pepper, but you flavor with detonators, such as onion and garlic and dry spices and things like that, and herbs, all right? And so we're gonna let this sit for 30 minutes also. And by the time it comes back, they'll be ready to go. All right, our steak has been marinating and our shrimp has been marinating for 30 minutes. And so now I can add my salt. Now, and my pepper. What you have to do is kind of press it in. And we flip it and do the same thing. All right. You see that the meat is starting to change color because it has absorbed a lot of that spice blend that I put in there. All right. And press it in to the center of my griddle here, and it goes right on in. Now what I want is for this steak to get a hard sear, and that is where it's kind of you sear it until the meat lets go. All right. There's a certain there's something that happens with meat when it touches a hot surface. It's called the Maillard effect, and simply what that is that the meat has pores, and the pores are seared closed. So they're destroyed on the outside, which causes the meat to trap all the juice inside once you finish cooking it. But in doing so, one of the side effects is that there's caramelization of the skin of this particular meat, or any meat, and so it creates what they call a sear, and it browns. And that is what helps to create the flavor for your steak or any meat. Now I'm pushing it down because I want to make sure that this entire steak is flat on the surface of this griddle. Exactly what I want. It smells really good, guys. Now, sometimes your meat will stick while this whole Maillard effect or searing is taking place. And that's why you shouldn't put your meat down and start touching it. You allow it to cook. And your meat will let you know when it's time. You can start, touching a little bit, and if it feels like it's hard to touch, then don't touch it. It's not ready yet. However, when it starts to let go of the pan because it's properly seared, you'll be able to move it, and then it'll be done. Then it's ready to be flipped. See, as you can see, it's not ready. All right. All right, a few more seconds. And okay, now it is. And we flip it. Now you see all this caramelization around here? It's exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. And the marinade has done exactly what it's supposed to do. I have a little crust there. That's exactly what I want. That little crust creates the most delicious flavor, and it locks in all those juices. So that when I cook this steak in my oven for about 5 to 6 minutes, it'll come out perfectly medium. A few more seconds on this side. And it's going to go right back into the pan that we marinated in, and it's going right into the oven. Awesome. And right into the oven. Get silent for a second there. All right. I just put that steak in the oven. It's going to take around 5 to 6 minutes. All right. On the same grill with all that flavor that came off the steak, my vegetables are going on. And a little salt and pepper. When they first hit the grill, you're not going to move them at first. You're going to let them sit there, let them begin to cook. I wish that you guys could smell what I smell. This smells outstanding in here. All right, I got spices popping, so now I start to turn them a little bit. Now, that spice blend is going to caramelize too. It's going to help the garlic and the onion and those peppers that's in the marinade to really, really, really come out. Because as they cook and as those different things get hot, it becomes so much better. Smells delightful, guys. Absolutely delicious. Now you can put any type of vegetables in your quesadilla. If I want to, I could have put mushrooms or broccoli. But because this is a whole Spanish type of thing, I want to use onions and different color peppers, which all going to bring a little bit of a different component to the dish. Wow, it smells delicious. I'm feeling it. I got my bystanders over there drooling over this. Can't have any yet. It's almost there. The whole point is to push it as flat as it can go. And everything to touch the grill. There it goes. Alright, alright. Alright, now it's around time to add my shrimp. Oh, add a little bit of salt. And I dump it on. A little bit of cracked pepper, but the marinade has the guajillo peppers in it, and they have a little bit of spice to them. Now I want all of them to touch also. Oh, it smells really good. Get hungry already. Oh yeah. Now some people wouldn't want to use put this in the quesadilla. Some people just really have these in fajitas, and sometimes it's the same thing, with the exception that the fajitas doesn't require you to plate it all together and melt cheese. You can just put this on a platter, add some hot tortillas and all of your shrimp and your steak, and go to the table with some fresh cilantro, and that'll be it. Oh yeah. Now I want to cook these until they just turn opaque and they start to curl on the end. That's exactly what I want. Really, guys, you have to watch your shrimp when you're cooking it, because it doesn't take shrimp long. 2, maybe 3 minutes tops, and your shrimp is ready to go. Perfectly cooked. Unless you want to overcook them and you want them to, taste like rubber bands. Your shrimp should be succulent, delicious. Oh, that sounds like my steak. All right. Turn that off. Get that steak out. Oh yeah. Starting to smell good, guys. All right. Now that steak is behind me, and it's gonna have to sit for the next 5 to 7 minutes, because when a steak cooks, all the juices rush to the middle of the steak. And if you have ever had hot meat, chicken or beef or any type of meat, and you take it right out the oven and you start cutting it, all of the juices pour right onto your cutting board. And that is for one reason only, is because all the juices have cooked and they have moved to the center of the steak. Now when that cooking process is over and you allow it to sit for those 5 to 7 minutes, all those juices redistribute into the whole steak and make the entire steak delicious and moist. So I know that that you want to bite into it as soon as you take it out of the oven, but hold off, hold tight, 5 to 7 minutes. I promise you it'll be worth it. All right, my shrimp are done. Oh yeah, exactly what it should be. And that's it. I'll cut that. Awesome. I have my steak, which I've taken out of the oven, and I have let it rested for 5 to 7 minutes. And so now I'm putting on my flour tortilla. Now I put some oil down and I put it on here, and I'm doing like this because I want the oil to be distributed all the way to the tip of this tortilla. I want the flavor to be there, and I want the color to be there. I'm gonna put my cheese in. I'm gonna put all this cheese. Why not? Why not? We're gonna spread it out. Okay. I'm gonna add some of these onions and peppers all over it. Remember, I want these flavors to be everywhere. And I'm gonna add my shrimp. Scatter them in different places. You know what it is. Yeah, that'll work. And now we're gonna cut our steak. Yep. Looks nice. Tastes even better. We're just gonna go on randomly. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna cut myself another piece of this steak. That is delicious. Wow. Awesome. That's nice and crispy. All right, great. So one thing I have to do now is add a few sprigs of cilantro. Now I'm not gonna cut through them. I wanna tear them because I want them to be kind of big and go everywhere. I just want them, yeah. Sometimes we cut herbs and sometimes we tear them, depending what the application is. All right. Now you're gonna take a little bit of that, put it right there, just in case you wanna, you know, a little bit more. I'm gonna grab our quesadilla. Ooh, it's hot. It's okay. Oh, nice and crispy. Perfect. I'm gonna grab it off my grill. I'll cut it in half. Oh, there it is. Looks delicious. That makes me want to eat. And there it is, guys. A surf and turf quesadilla. I made a side of Spanish rice just because I wanted something to go with it. And I have some fresh sour cream there, fresh cilantro, and a squeeze of lime juice. Pop it. So, there it is. Until next time, guys. Use what's in your pantry. You'll enjoy it as much as I do. It's the fat boy himself, JT.